All right, started the recording. I'm going to try to make this one a lot quicker. I know the last one was about an hour long. I didn't really want that to happen. This is just kind of the follow up for the people that might have missed it, or maybe that video was too long. I'm going to try to keep this one around 20 minutes, and this is going to show you what you want to look for in these charts. Again, all these charts are linked. Let me show you here. So the charts are linked in long-term plays. Charts are linked in the spreadsheet. We have 3 different spreadsheets that you can go to the pinned comment on research channel, click on all 3 of these and request access if you don't have it. I think that's the, most of the ones that I'm going to show you here. I'm pretty sure I pulled them from that. So let's just jump into it. If you're not following me on X, usually I'll post everything to you anyway, but sometimes I'll post things that are just like macro things. Let me just make sure there's no, okay. So let's start out with Fluence here. I believe this is one that's on the long-term plays, but at the very least it's on the spreadsheet plays. And hey, Rabbit. Yeah, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in Twitch, the Twitch chat there, or in the Discord. I'll try to keep an eye on that as well. All right, so I'm thinking that Fluence might do some kind of like a bull flag type thing. I'm not positive about that. It could just keep going. But one thing I want everybody to know here at the very beginning is, as far as Bitcoin goes, let me pull it over here. So just briefly talk about Bitcoin. This structure does look kind of like this one back here. That one. Yeah, I think that's the main one I'm thinking about. They don't always have to look exactly the same. It's much smaller to me. If I was going to say where we're at currently based on this structure, I would say, let's see, that's that. I mean, we could be somewhere in there maybe as far as that structure goes. So I'm thinking there could be over these next 2 weeks in December. So that'd be a 20% move. Of course, it could come up a little bit first. If that happens, then I don't know, 80 to 85K, somewhere in there could be a pullback. And if you notice here, there's a little shoulder that was formed, and sometimes these shoulders get retested. And then let's see, that's about the 382 fib retracement. So 85K to 81K. If it was to do a full 50% retracement, but we don't know what the top is yet. It hasn't been put in. Well, it's not positive just yet. We're not sure what it is. I mean, this is a lower high, so it could be that it's going to retrace over, what is today, the 1st? So over the next, 7 to 13 days into the middle of the month, this could happen. And I'm trying to remember how it affects alts. I don't think it affects them that much. Hopefully it won't. And something I haven't looked at in a while is dominance. Yeah, it rejected pretty hard. So, I mean, here's the thing with dominance. It's falling into a previous support area. And I would put a line maybe right here on this wick. Well, that's exactly where it's at right now. So this would indicate that there's a possibility of a bounce here for dominance. So Bitcoin gets bullish again, or alts just have a harder time moving up against Bitcoin. It can mean that too. But this is just kind of the result of price action for Bitcoin versus alts. It's not necessarily a chart on its own. It's just the result of something that happened somewhere else in the charts. So, I mean, we do want to see this break down, of course, but we can still put lines on this and say, okay, well, this is a place that Bitcoin could regain some strength temporarily. And then, maybe it creates a lower high and then finally breaks that line, and that's really when alts would get going. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, so Fluence, let me just get rid of this and show you. I'm going to speed run through these charts. These are tokens that look pretty good, that could keep moving. But again, I don't really know what's going to happen with Bitcoin, in the short term. But you need to be accumulating some of these regardless, because even if it comes down, let's say this one falls back down here and you own some of it, which I do, the valuations that you're going to get out of the long-term move for the full bull market, like let's say you get this, let's say it goes all the way down to there, that's 40%. paper loss. You know, you don't have to sell it here if you don't want to. So let's say you bought it here, and even to TP2, that's a 2.5x. So what does this matter, right? And I feel like it's going to get higher than that, but that's just like a quick example. So what you're looking for is a breakout, and I can even turn Engineering Robo off here. You're going to see this theme as I go through these. You're looking for a break of structure. So, you know, this was, it had lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, created a higher low here off of this one, and a higher high off of this one. And then it took off, and now it's creating even a higher high than this one. And so now it's fighting against this one back here. And when that happens, it pushes up to TP1. So we don't know that it's going to break this right away. You know, this would kind of align with what we're talking about with Bitcoin. If it was to pull back, then this could pull back to the bullish line. This would be a good place to buy. So maybe have some cash on the side just in case, you know, because over those 2 weeks, there's a higher chance of this happening. We've had a lot of tokens that have pumped, you know, 50%, 2x, maybe even more than that, like Cincy. Those are the tokens you don't really want to be buying right now. You want to wait for them to pull back some. But I'm going to show you some tokens here that are just now making this move. And Fluence is kind of in that you know, group of coins, but I'm going to show you some better ones where you can lower your risk. I will show you smart money on all of these. I'm going to try to remember to pull it on every single one. One of them, if it shows up in smart money. You know, some of these, the contract address doesn't show up because it's an L1 or something like that. But you're seeing here that over the last 30 days, there's been, well, I'll take that back. Somebody bought $400 worth within the last 30 days, but nothing within 24 hours or the 7-day range in here. There are some people that hold it, and they're considered smart money, so they're, you know, they're profitable wallets. I mean, here's one that's 100% win rate. I don't know how that's possible. I'll look at them later. But one of our wallets is in it. Well, it's one of the old wallets I used to track. I need to look at this one again, actually. But they don't hold much. So pretty flat right now, not a lot going on. People tend to buy after price action really gets going. They don't usually buy the bottom. So that's Fluence. Here's Cincy. This is an example of one you probably don't want to buy right now. You know, it's getting up into previous all-time high area. And I mean, I fully believe it's going to break above that. But notice how when a token, let me turn this off. Notice how when a token pumps, you know, it gets above a resistance area. Now it creates it as, or it holds it as support. This is strong market structure where you're getting higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and it's doing it again. So, you know, it may bull flag out. It could even come all the way back down to TP1. And I'm not saying it has to reject here. It could just keep going. But what you're looking for on a daily chart, if you don't have Engineering Robo, well, number one, these lines have worked pretty well, except it pushed past TP2. It was hard to tell where TP2 was. I mean, it's probably more up here, something like that. But RSI, I just want to make a point of this real quick. So if RSI starts creating lower highs, you want to consider taking profit. If it crosses back down the 70 RSI, you can take profit there. But you definitely want to take profit if it crosses back below 50 and rejects that 50 and can't get back above. So keep an eye on things like that as well. And I know I'm talking fast, but you can go back and watch the video, practice it on charts you're watching. So what could we see? Maybe something like this. Either bull flag and go, or it, you know, has a further dip because of something that Bitcoin did or something. But I suspect it's going to hold this TP1 line now because it was strong resistance, and now it's held as support at least once. And then we can look at Cincy on here. And let me just make sure there's no, let's see, Rabbit, what are you doing in front of the screen? You should touch grass. Yeah, I should. We see X and not BTC. I had to refresh. Yeah, crypto, I'll look at 0. I'm assuming y'all are able to see this okay now. Like you should see Nansen right now, but let me know if you can't see that or the charts that I was just showing. Okay, so Cincy Smart Money, and I will look at 0 here in a second. Remind me though if I forget, I need to go through all this first. So in the last 30 days, we do have one that purchased. It's a top 100 on Nero. They made a lot of money off of Nero. It's also a Wojak whale. let's see, this one here actually sold 17,000 worth, but this one above here has a higher win rate and a higher profitability. So, it's good to see at least that bigger whales are buying. Don't worry so much about the total tokens that are held by all these wallets. Doesn't matter quite as much. What we want to see is fresh wallets being added to this. So in September there were 5, now there's 7. Not a huge jump, but that's kind of what we want to see. And since he is still a very low market cap, I don't know if it's 18 million though, is it? It might be. Yeah, it might be 18 million. I think it was 10 million when we first started talking about it. Here's Toshi. I keep bringing this ahead. Okay, Toshi I've been talking about lately, how it looks like a bull flag. Might be breaking out of it now. You can see how, the downtrend line, there is a candle trying to close above it. That candle for daily candle will close in 5 hours from now. But you can see anytime these are broken, once you get a confirmation candle, that usually turns into a buy signal. And I mean, you could even go all the way back to here and say, something like that. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. But this is the type of candle you don't want to buy, by the way. I don't know how much it went up, but this is a really good example. It's an 82% candle. It actually pushed harder shortly after that. It pushed up here and then it rejected. But look how this entire candle got retraced about 50%. So if you see a huge candle like that, even if there's a buy signal, maybe give it a few days. This one actually took about 5 days, and you'll get a better entry. And if it doesn't work out, just find you another token, right? I mean, there's tons of tokens out there. All right, let's look at Toshi on Smart Money. This is on base, by the way. I don't think there's much activity right now. Yeah, not a whole lot going on. There's been a little bit of activity, but you're still seeing a lot of strong holders here, so makes you feel good about where it's going. The last really big impulse for new fresh wallet holders for Smart Money was back in February. It's probably about when price was pumping. Okay, Opal, which is Opulus. This is the one that guy I was telling you about that had some really good calls last cycle, which he doesn't really do TA and stuff like that. His name's Be Mighty on YouTube. He doesn't do TA, but he taps into the spiritual side of things, and which I'm a little bit iffy on that, but it seems to work for him. So Opulus is one of his favorite ones. He thinks it's going to do like a, I don't know, 40x, 100x. I don't really like to say things like that, but just so you know what he said. Like I said in the last video, I'm not trying to blow smoke and tell you what to buy. That's up to you. Just whatever you feel like buying. So Opulus, Smart Money, and then we'll look at the chart. Yeah, it's pretty flat. Same thing as Fluence when we were looking at that one earlier. Spartan Group is in it. That's a fund, which, I mean, that it doesn't matter that much if there's a fund or not. There's actually a couple different ones. Jump Trading's in it as well. These are very good funds, but it doesn't mean you absolutely have to buy. Actually, there's not many Smart Money in it. Aside from that, there's a few wallets. But strong holders, it doesn't look like they're selling anyway. And then on the chart, it did break out of this. Basically, when you see a red cloud here on Engineering Robo, it means you don't have to draw a line if you don't want to. So I'm going to draw my line. Let's say you don't know TA. Well, instead, you can turn on Engineering Robo's cloud here. And as soon as it starts to turn green, then you know that things are starting to turn back up. Now, it did turn red temporarily here, and you had an AI sell signal with it, but you got a buy signal directly after, and it looks bullish now. But understand that it's also running into resistance over here. So anytime there was previous support that was lost, it becomes resistance on the way back up. So if you want to play this safely, if you want to make sure that you're not taking too much risk, then wait for a candle to close above this bullish line. Because this is kind of risky right now to be buying at this level since you're hitting resistance for the first time since losing support back here. All right, DNX. Remember, these are all on our long-term plays and on our spreadsheets. I just kind of chose these at random because the charts look good. There could be others. I didn't look at every single one of them. Okay, so this one didn't have hardly any. I mean, that looks good, right, from the perspective of brand new holders, but it didn't have any holders at all. So it went from 0 to 1, and it's a very small amount that they bought. 500. Well, actually, they bought twice, so they own around 2,000. So not bad. So DNX. I think this is the right one. Oh, so this is wrap DNX. I guess DNX is a L1 or something. Same thing though. I told you this would be a recurring theme where you're getting this breakout of the downtrend. And I think it's okay to buy here if you wanted to, but just understand that it could pull back still and retest this breakout, or it could go ahead to the bullish line. Sometimes you do see something like this where it retests that. I think we just looked at one actually. Where's it at? Right here. So Opulus broke out and then it came back and retested that line. So just understand that could happen still. All right, Ink AI, I think it was, yeah, Ink AI. Same thing, breakout. This is kind of nice actually, because if I go to a higher time frame, it looks like it's, well, I was going to show where it's retracing 50%, but I don't think I'm going to be able to show it in a single candle. So yeah, you got a buy signal, but remember the one we were just talking about a minute ago. Sometimes you get that rejection, which look at that wick right there. There's some kind of rejection level there, from previous wicks. So if you see wicks, a lot of them to the top side, that means that's a resistance level. If you see a lot of wicks to the downside, like especially on a daily chart, that means there's a pretty strong support level there. And notice how, like if you take a fib and you drag from the bottom of this move to the top, that's about a 50% to 60% retracement. They call this the golden pocket, where price does kind of go to most of the time, or at least to the 50% line on a retrace. That's if it has a big move. I think that was a pretty good move. Yeah, that was a really big move actually in a month ago, something like that. So maybe it doesn't break this right away. Maybe this comes back down, retests this line, or just comes down 50% of this full move, of this AI buy move. Or it could even be this one. Let's look at that and see what. So it could come all the way down to 024 or 027, somewhere in there, if it was going to kind of retest that breakout. So see how some of these are starting to rhyme with the thing that we're talking about with Bitcoin, how it could be pulling back over the next couple of weeks. So you got tokens that are having big breakouts or even small ones, but they're hitting resistance levels. So, maybe we are going to have a little bit of a pullback first. So that is Ink, and we haven't looked at this yet, have we? And I'm assuming, I think I already asked, but I'm assuming y'all can see all these charts and everything. There was a question about it a minute ago. Just verify that if you would, make sure that you're seeing all this. It should be working. Yeah, I can see it on my OBS. Here's somebody that sold. Here's another one that bought. And wallets are pretty sideways. I mean, this is the theme with ETH chain right now. A lot of these ETH tokens have kind of been sideways. Not a whole lot of people interested in it. So it's gonna pick up. It'll look like this for whatever reason. People don't want to buy the bottom, even though we're way ahead of the game. So if you see one that hasn't really broken out much yet, and I'm going to show you some more here, feel free to take that chance, but also keep some money on the side just in case we get a little bit of a dip, because it's not going to matter. A month or two from now, even if you take a 30% paper loss and you don't sell, you're going to be up, maybe as much as 10x or 20x. So just be aware that, we can still get some pretty good moves, even if things pull back temporarily. There's a good profitable fund in it. I'm sure these are good wallets here. Yeah, so pretty good wallets. That's Ink AI that we just looked at, by the way. So this is Portal, which I don't We don't really have to look at this one, but I will, I guess. This was kind of just a side play. It's not really a long-term play. Yeah, not a whole lot going on with it. I'm just going to skip it. It's no big deal. We were just, I mean, it did work out, and it could still move. You know, it would at least move to here to 76 cents or $1. So it's got a little bit of room, but main thing is we're in profit right now from that play. This is Mavia. I mean, Mavia is okay. I think I am in it. It's a gaming project. The only thing I don't really like about it is this has been very, it doesn't have much of an impulsive move. You know, I'd rather see a token that has big candles. But I will say that since this one has consolidated really tightly for a long time, you know, maybe it can have some power moving out of this. I don't know. But it does need to get above the bullish line. I mean, this is so close to this line here that maybe it's not a good time to buy it. It could be rejecting the 70 RSI there. It could come back and retest this breakout. So, you know, it's not one that I would really consider right now, even personally, even though I own some already. And this is what the smart money looks like on it. Pretty flat. I mean, it's had a little bit more people interested in it, but some people sold as well. Binance Labs, I don't think they actually bought 192,000 worth, did they? Sometimes when you see something like that, it's just tokens being transferred. Yeah, they were just moving it from one wallet to another, looks like. Okay, so that wasn't an actual purchase. All right, let's move on to Bosun. This one you could buy here if you wanted to. In fact, I just bought some more today. I meant to post that. Yeah, I'm looking for these tokens that haven't really moved much yet. And I could be wrong on it. You know, it could still come back to this line before it's ready to go. And it could even move under. I mean, I'm open to any possibility. But I just know that it's a strong token, you know, as far as the project. A lot of big VCs follow this project or are invested in it already. And by the way, when you're seeing these, if you see this AI social intelligence score of a green and a 5, that means it's very strong as far as, you know, people talking about it on Reddit or X. Where's the dashboard? I just want to look at one thing. I think the dashboard also says smart money is in it right now. Yeah, smart money in. Here's another couple things we can look at. Total market cap. You can actually see these things on the dashboard, and you can change them as well if you want to change any of these in the settings for something else you want to look at. Like, say, for example, well, I mean, you're looking in here, Bitcoin's bullish, RSI is neutral, DXY has some bearish tendencies on some time frames, so that's good. You do want to see that. Bosun is only bearish on the weekly, meaning, you know, the weekly chart tends to lag, so, you know, eventually this will turn bullish as well. But if you wanted to ever change any of this, you could just switch to, like if we wanted to look at Bitcoin dominance or something, then now the this dashboard will reload, and now we're seeing Bitcoin dominance. Correlation to BTC is like 50% correlated. Bearish on everything pretty much. But the only thing that's overbought here currently, and kind of goes along with our story that things could pull back temporarily over the next couple of weeks, is total market cap is overbought currently. Doesn't mean it has to turn around immediately, but it is overbought. So just another thing that could add to the storyline there. And then Bosun, smart money, pretty flat. I mean, this is just a recurring theme as far as the smart money goes, but there are some, like FBG Capital is in it. Here's a couple, AU21 Capital's in it, so some big names. Okay, this is TokenFi. This is from the same team, not Tonkin. Same team that did Floki. And it's an established token, it's not new. Smart money on this one has dropped some, but you got plenty of holders there, some strong wallets. And then if we look at the chart, it is another one that you can consider buying if you wanted it, because it's fairly close to our bullish line and it doesn't have a massive candle that, that could retrace. And it is above 70 RSI, which is usually very bullish. There is some resistance in here, so it could reject temporarily, but you can see we're in the green cloud now. We had our AI buy signal here. So this is still an okay place to buy. Okay, ATH, this is an Aether token, another one. It's got a green 5 social intelligence. It's gonna close a candle above the bullish line today. So this is another one that you can consider because it's back above the support that's important for it, which is right here at roughly 7 cents. So yeah, I mean, this is another one I think looks fine. Green cloud, AI buy down here. If it comes back down to the bullish line, that's a great place to buy. You want to buy as close to those lines as you can. This is your new support. Just because this says support down here doesn't mean this can't be support also, because if this breaks through, now this is your new support until it's lost again. What was that one? ATH, Aether. Aether. Okay, here we go. Yep, flat, same thing. There has been some buying recently though. Master Ventures, let's actually look and see on Wallet Profiler if that was a true purchase or if they were just transferring. So here's the buy. Well, this is either a transfer or a buy. Okay, they were transferring from one of their other wallets. This is probably a smaller VC because it looks like they transferred from just a normal wallet instead of some kind of unlock wallet or something like that, like a vesting wallet. All right, let's look at the next one. This is Dot Moves. I questioned whether I wanted to put this one in here or not because it's not quite as high on the list of, I gotta make sure I get the right one here. It's not as high on the list of like high conviction tokens on our spreadsheet. I wonder if this is the right one. If it is, nobody's interested in it right now. Dot Moves. Let me do it this way. I want to make sure I get the right contract address. Okay, that's better. So there are some people in it. One sold a little bit recently with this Moonrock Capital. Morningstar is a pretty good one. So it looks like mostly funds in these right now until the market catches on that it's time to buy these. Everybody's been into Sol tokens, stuff like that, trying to pivot to memes. But this is going to pick up again for sure. And this is looking, this is Jupiter, sorry. Yeah, so Dot Moves, I mean, it's okay. It could be hitting temporary resistance here, but RSI says it's very bullish. So I guess one thing you have to look at when you're looking at these charts is how much profitability can I make from here to here? And that's a 2x, so it's not bad. So yeah, if you wanted to buy here, I think it's fine because it is in the green cloud on Engineering Robo. But there's still a chance this candle can get 50% retraced. So I could see it coming down to like 0.024, 0.025, something like that, possibly. Doesn't mean it has to. All right, let's look at Jupiter. This is a DEX exchange, and it's a pretty popular one, or it was at one time. And we're almost done. I've just got a few more here. Looks like somebody either transferred a lot or bought a lot recently. Let's see. That'll be interesting if they actually bought it. It's this wallet right here. Okay, so that's them. Yeah, they just transferred it, so never mind. Anytime you see a wallet address here instead of like some kind of DEX liquidity pool, then they're just transferring the tokens over. And sometimes it could mean that they're selling it, but in a situation like this, I guess they're just made a new wallet or something possibly. But as far as the chart, looks really good. It's that same thing we just talked about where sometimes you get a really big move and then it retraces 50% of that move and then it breaks out again. So, you'd call this a bull flag. So I think it's okay to buy here, but just be aware it could still retest this before it moves up one more time. All right, Sophie, what is it? Sophiaverse. BNB, we'll look at the ETH version. Not much going on there. Maybe the BNB is the more popular one. No. So yeah, not a whole lot, I guess, going on with this one. Is that the right price? 0185. Okay, so not a lot of people are interested in this one, and that's fine. I mean, here's another one of those themes where we had a breakout. It retested the full breakout, and now it's working on higher highs, higher lows, but it's not quite green yet. I mean, if you wanted to buy this one, it's fine, but just know that it may take it a little bit longer. It may just grind, and then somewhere within here, it turns green. But I do have some of this. We bought it down here somewhere. I don't remember exactly where. We were trying to buy the bottom. Mubi is a pretty good example of one that kind of combines all of this, where it hit a rejection area and now it's retraced 50% of that candle. So it could be ready to go again, or it'll do one of these, like a bull flag, just like we saw on this one. Nope, sorry, this one. So breakout, bull flag, and then another breakout. Mubi, breakout, bull flag, another breakout. That's what you'd be looking for. Okay, Mubi. Yeah, same thing, sideways. Maybe actually lost some of their momentum. You know, not as many fresh wallets right now. Okay, let me just show you these last three without looking at smart money, because I'm just trying to show you ones that you probably don't want to buy right now, even though they're looking good. We try to buy before things break out, right? That's what we're looking for. So, you know, buying at support, or buying, you know, use these strategies as we progress through this bull market. You know, you should be accumulating now. So look for this in your charts. If this comes down to support and it holds it, you know, maybe wait for a confirmation candle. You buy there. If you break above the bullish line, and you know, you can wait a couple candles if you want. If it holds, buy it, and you know, you're in profit there. Some people ask, well, you know, if this does a almost 200% move or whatever, should I take some profit and rotate it to something else? That's fine if you want to do that. Just be aware that tokens that you really like, that you have a high conviction for, you should really just hold till the end of the bull market. But if you want to have some of these tokens that are just like side plays, this is fine. I mean, if you don't care about this token and you actually made this move and you want to roll this profit into something else, that's fine. I mean, it's a strategy you can use for sure. But this is a pretty good move. I wouldn't be buying this just because it's near resistance over here. It could pull back, you know, 50% or something like that. Cubic, same thing. You know, we're above the TP1 line. Had a really nice move. You got to expect, especially with Bitcoin having the possibility of pulling back a little bit, since we're going into the new moon phase and not the full moon phase, which the full moon is more bullish usually than the new moon. But this could pull back into this range if you miss cubic and you want some of it. I don't know how many zeros that is, 5 zeros and a 3. And the reason for that is there's a shoulder there. And if you pull a fib, that's about where it ends up. Is it Lanify? This is a lower conviction play. It still needs to do some work, looks like to me. I don't think it's really confirmed that it's out of the cloud yet. This one's a little bit tougher to read, but if you turn off this, you can see clearly that you had a huge move. Well, I say it's a huge move. Maybe it's not that big. Oh, it is actually. That's a 5x move. So look, if you would have bought the support there, you'd have been doing pretty good on this one. But if we pull the fib off of that, like we were talking about, sometimes it retraces into the 50. That's a 0.5 right there. So the 50 line, that's the first place it usually finds support. And if it doesn't find support there, it'll come down to the 0.65, 0.618 area, which is around 003. I don't really follow this project or know anything about it. It's one of our lower conviction, but still, Tatiana and the team did research on this, and as long as it holds this line, you're good. So maybe wait a day or two, see if it holds a couple of candles above, and then if you want to enter this one, it would be a good place to enter. What else do we want to talk about? I can talk about zero now. Let me get the, oh wait, you know what? I may have, yeah, any questions y'all have, go ahead and ask. This is zero mat, okay, I've got the wrong one. So zero on Binance. I'm gonna save that so I don't lose it now. I mean, if I just did some really quick lines on this, I would start out the highest time frame I could do. And I would put something like that. Maybe that. I mean, it does look very bullish for sure. And then, yeah, it's hitting that 1272 perfectly. So, here's some targets. This is just a quick way to do it using fibs. And then you go back down to your daily chart and you can see that the lines work out pretty good. So it's rejecting, I mean, first of all, it's very bullish. I mean, clearly everything's on the, showing green there. But look how good, Engineering Robo did as well. So these tokens, if you just follow what Engineering Robo tells you, you can make money. That's a 2x move. Could pull back to this line and retest it. It hasn't tested it yet. It was resistance, now it's support. So you would say something like, this is your bullish line, and your support's down here. That's just a really quick way to do lines and stuff. And you get better at it the longer you do it. I do have a video, by the way, where I talk about how to do that here in video content. Where's it at? Support and resistance primer. And it goes through how to draw those lines and stuff. So let's see, is there anything else we want to talk about? I think we've pretty much covered it all. How many minutes are we doing this? Okay, we're 37 minutes in. Unless y'all just have any other questions, let's probably stop it there. I want to keep it under 40 minutes. And, talk in the Discord if there's any other questions that we didn't cover that you wanted to go over. And maybe in the next video we can cover that. I am going to do, for the people that want to do, look into degen type plays. I still need to do like a BullX thing. I haven't used BullX much, but I have some filter ideas now that I've come across, and they may help to find these. But just remember, those tokens are a lot more risky. What you should be doing with the bulk of your money, with like 95% of your capital, you should be getting these alts like this because they're going to be the safest place for you. Now, that's not to say that some of these can't just dump, because they can, and that's why you want to have a wider portfolio than just maybe one or two coins, 2 or 3 coins. You want to have like 10 or 20, and then that way, if one of them fails for whatever reason, you've still got like 19 others to pick you up. So just remember, long-term plays and our spreadsheets, that's the place to find these. I guess we've got a few short-term plays here as well that are good. But yeah, could you please leave on the the 5-minute Solana data? Yeah, I can do that. I'll keep streaming that. I'll stop the recording here in a second and keep streaming. Okay, well, for those of you that are watching the recording, we're going to end that here. And for those of you that want to watch the live stream of, I'm not going to be talking over it, but of the Nansen 5-minute data for meme coins, I'll leave that up for you. Okay, thanks guys, and we'll do another one soon.